Do you ever feel like your shop is just too small? You got too much stuff in it and it doesn't fit? So I've got a big old project I'm working on. This is my current shop, and as you can see, it's a great shop. It's a great space. I built this from scratch. But there's just so much stuff in here, and don't mind the total mess. This is from one of my recent videos and I haven't cleaned up yet. But this shop gets so crowded so quickly. So as I've done more and more woodworking, I've found that the more tools I have, generally speaking, the better. I like power tools. You like to have everything you need. But this particular space, the inside of this room is about 14 by 14. It is heated and air conditioned, and it's got 220 and 110. It's a good space. But if I have my wife in here filming, for example, while I'm trying to make a video, it's just we bump into each other. There's not enough room to get the angles, all that kind of stuff. And just generally, I'd like more space to do sheet goods and process wood and things like that. And there's definitely not room in here for that. So we have a solution. So the plan is to actually do a full conversion of the garage to where we can use that whole space for nothing but woodworking, which I'm super excited about. My wife said, basically we have a choice of moving and finding a bigger space or doing that. So we're going to do that. But there's some big caveats involved with that. So this is the garage, and as you can probably see here, it is an absolute disaster right now. We normally park one car right here, but we've got our stud finder video that we recently filmed, and I haven't taken all of that down, so I've got videos all over the place going on, and the rest of this half is all, I've got solar panels and yard work and sheet goods over here and a table of supplies and workbenches and Christmas decorations and you name it. So we want to clean all of this out, everything that's not related to woodworking, and make this place completely new. Now that involves a few really big things. Number one, inside here is we're going to rip off all of the sheetrock and we're going to put in some insulation everywhere. All of the walls up above in the ceiling, we'll blow that in. And then I'm also going to rerun electrical on this whole thing so that we have all of the power that we need and in the right places. Right now there are, if I'm not mistaken, 2 outlets in this whole place, and that's obviously not going to cut it. So we've got our panels just on the other side of this wall, and it should be fairly easy to run it as far as having to, once the walls are open and everything. So I'm pretty excited to do that. We'll also finish everything in here, paint it, put up the sheetrock again, and we should have a lot of space. I'll do the floors so that they're nice and smooth, and then we can roll tables around, we can roll tools around, we can do whatever we need to in this space. And this is, I think, about 21 by 21. So it's going to be quite a bit bigger than the shop that I had before, and we've got several ideas of what to do with that, but most likely it's going to be some sort of a studio space for filming that we'll do for kind of, once a project is done, a nice clean background to film in there. So we'll see how that goes. Now, in order to make all that happen, we've got more to do this way. Right over here on the side of our house, instead of the trailer that I've been working on, we now have a Bobcat, which is not ours, this is a rental. So this is where the trailer was. We sold the trailer, and as we go this way, there's also some other things missing. So one thing I forgot to mention is that as part of this process, I had to take down the fence, and I was a little intimidated because I hadn't worked with vinyl fencing before, but I was actually pretty shocked at how easy it was to do. Basically, you're just going to use a chisel to take off the caps or loosen those up if there's any glue on them, and then you remove some screws that are holding the top and bottom rails in place, and then you slide the panels out. It's really kind of just that easy. Getting the posts out was a little more work, so I had to use a few innovative methods here, but because I had a Bobcat, I used that, and it turned out pretty good. So that was kind of a fun process, and I feel like I know a whole lot more about how vinyl fencing works now. Now, if you've watched my main channel, the Learn to DIY channel, we had a clubhouse that was built right back here, and so we've torn that down. this cleared out, we're getting ready to pour concrete here. So we'll be putting concrete all the way back, and that'll go back to the fence there. Next step obviously is to put in forms and to do our gravel or crushed concrete as a base, and then get the cement poured all the way back here. Once that's done, back here in the corner, we're going to end up with a nice large shed that goes back here, and that's where all of our bikes, lawnmowers, and yard stuff will be, and that's the permanent home for all of that stuff. None of that will be in the garage at all, but we'll have hopefully lots of space to put that. If we have to put a couple sheds, I guess we could, but I think we'll get a big one to fit everything. And then this space right here will actually all be a carport. We're going to run it from this side of the house, from the back of the house, all the way down to the front, and it'll be about 50 feet long and pretty tall, pretty wide, and we can park both cars there. We'll see how that works. It's not the ideal situation, but it's a lot more doable, a lot more affordable than trying to build a huge garage addition over here. So that's what we're going to try, see how it goes, and that's the journey that we're on for the next little while here. I don't know exactly how long this will take, but we'll see, and I'm excited to jump in. So obviously we've started, so if you want to follow along and see how this all goes, then we invite you to do so. Should be fun. And if you've got tips or hints about converting a garage into a shop especially, I'd love to learn all I can about that. As well as doing a carport. We've never done a carport before. We're not sure if we're going to do a lean-to carport that's actually attached to the house, or a freestanding one that's just really close to the house, because that's a whole different set of code and restrictions involved when you do that versus an attached carport. So we're looking into all of that right now, and again, we'd love your feedback and input in the comments below. So that's the big project we're doing. We hope you guys follow along. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a huge shop when we're done, one that I think we can stay in for many years, and that way we don't have to move. We don't really want to move. We're happy where we live. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you as we provide more updates on this in the near future.